They've been lying to you, coaches, trainers, even your teammates. The biggest lie in baseball development is what keeps 90% of players stuck. And it's the reason so many guys never unlock their full potential. Today, I'm exposing it. For those of you who are new to the show, my name is Ian Miller. I was a 9-hole hitter from Little League all the way to the big leagues. I was a college walk-on. Man, I was just like you. And when I was younger, I chased mechanics. I chased quick fixes. I was solely bought in on the fact that if I had a picture perfect swing mechanically, that everything else was going to take care of itself. I also thought that copying others' drills or others' exercises, the stuff that necessarily worked for my teammates, other guys with different swings and different capabilities, I thought if I was just copying what they did, that it was going to work for me. I thought that if I had their swing, that I would get their type of results. Boy, was I wrong. When I was younger, I also only felt satisfied when the blast motion or the hit tracks numbers looked good. If my rotational acceleration was pinpoint, if my on plane analysis was picture perfect, dude, if my exit velocity was 100 plus, I thought that was going to be fantastic. We've gone through those rounds where we hit a couple piss missiles and we look back at the screen and it doesn't say it's 104 plus exit velocity. We're like, it's not great, right? That's not how we want to build our swing, okay? I often chased cues. I often chased fixes that worked for others, right? Trying to accomplish different things with these different swings and different tools. And it ended up sending me down even further deeper into a spiral. When I got the Pro Bowl, man, I all of a sudden had a wake up call. It hit me. These guys have multi-million-dollar swings. They signed in the draft for so much money. They get here, there's so many eyes on them. They are these top prospects. And then these picture perfect mechanics, these dominant batting practices, they turn into terrible numbers. I had this insane wake up call that just because your mechanics are top tier, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to perform at a high clip. And it took me until I was 21, 22, 23 years old to realize that, where it's like, dude, you can have great mechanics, but if you have no idea what you're doing, what good is it going to do for you? Your mechanics are only a small fraction of the overall offensive success that you are going to have. Let's talk about it. Let's dive into it. First and foremost, let's unpack the biggest lie that is being sold to you around your baseball development. We've all been taught from a young age that mechanics alone will save you. We're being taught that mechanics are everything, and we're not being taught how to actually hit and actually compete and actually scratch out a good quality at bat. Mechanics alone are not going to save you, especially the higher up you climb and the more legit arms that you face who know how to throw backwards, who know how to nibble, who know how to expand, who know how to expose your holes, man. Everybody has holes in their swing, little gaps. If you rely solely on mechanics to just carry you through, man, you're going to be screwed. Your mechanics are only ever going to matter if you're on time and if you have a plan or if you have an approach. What good does first rounder mechanics or, picture perfect blast motion hit tracks number mechanics do for you if you have no idea what you're swinging at? If you don't have a clue what you're trying to be on time for, what you're hunting. Noah Syndergaard throws 100 miles an hour. Justin Verlander still throws high 90s, dude. You think your mechanics are going to carry you to catch up to an inside fastball when you're not on time for that fastball? When you don't have an approach or a plan, you're not hunting something? If you don't catch that 100-mile-an-hour fastball out in front of the plate, your bat is going to snap into a million pieces, and you're going to be picking up your thumbs off the infield. Without an approach, your mechanics are absolutely wasted. You have no chance for success. We are focusing on the wrong things. You're spending so much time trying to perfect your mechanics that you're losing how to compete, man. What's really important? Being on time for the fastball. Hunting something, trying to do damage, right? We are losing the 7 and 8 pitch walk idea. It is extremely valuable for you to be able to grind out and battle and piece together a 7 to 8 pitch walk. Let's say you get into a 0-2 or 1-2 count and you are able to work out a walk. 7 or 8 pitches is a quality at bat. Getting on base via walk is a quality at bat. And you're able to do that even if it's ugly, even if your mechanics aren't great, even if you aren't on plane, your rotational acceleration is less than optimal. If you can do that, dude, that is way more appealing to a D1 coach or a professional scout or a Major League Baseball team than being able to take a perfect round of BP and have no impact on the game. You have great mechanics, dude. You can take a flawless BP and hit the ball 400 plus feet, gap to gap, this and that. That's fantastic, dude. What's your on base percentage? What's your OPS, man? You're having no impact. You look good on camera. You look good in practice, not when it really matters, man. We need to focus in on what is actually important. The biggest lie, your mechanics alone are going to save you. Dude, that is such a farce. That is such BS. Farce means a joke, a lie, not true. Farce is a pretty good word there. Your mechanics, again, are just such a small portion of this overall baseball development, baseball success, that it shouldn't be the sole thing that we're focusing on. It's a small slice of this whole pie, dude. Your approach, your timing, your discipline, all of that is the real separator, dude. Do you know what you are trying to attack and what you are hunting? And do you have the discipline to not deviate from that time after time after time? That is your approach. And if you are locked in on that, you give yourself a chance. If your mechanics are there on top of that, that small slice, you maximize your chances of overall success with good mechanics stacked on top of a good approach, being on time, having discipline to stick with that, dude. That's where we talk about serious numbers and serious separation. But if you're just focusing on that little layer of mechanics before your approach, before your timing, before having discipline, it's not going to be anything. You aren't going to amount to anything. Let's talk about a tactical fix, and let's introduce what actually works. You need to stop obsessing over mechanics. Let's lock into an approach. Let's lock into a plan. You need to understand what works for you. And you need to pick something and you need to go all in on it. And you need to ride or die with it. And you need to be willing to accept an over 20 with this plan. We need to fully commit to it. So many times guys go through the motions because we are just picking and choosing what feels good today, what we think we're going to attack today, what the flavor of the day is, the flavor of the month, man. Our approach needs to be concrete. We can't waver and we can't just pick and choose an approach based off the day, based off of what we did last night, based off of who's throwing tonight, man. We need to still be locked in on the things that we can control, on the things that we are trying to execute on, and that can't deviate. Pick something. Is it a fastball? Is it middle in? Is it middle away? What do you do well and why? Commit fully to that. Don't ditch it after catching a golden sombrero, man. Everybody's supposed to go 0 for 4. Stick with it until you're 0 for 20. Chances are, if you are fully locked into an approach, you are on time, you are committed, you have discipline, you don't deviate from that, you aren't going to catch an 0 for 20, man. You're going to make adjustments and you are going to be fully locked in before you even get there. The worst thing that you can do for your baseball development, for your career, for your offensive success is to ditch a plan or ditch an approach just because you had a bad game, just because you had a bad weekend or a bad series. Another tactical fix is to simplify your batting practice. We aren't maximizing our BP. We aren't fully intentional and just doing everything we can be doing at such a high level that it carries our performance up with it. If you simplify your batting practice and you track how many times you can deliver the barrel to the baseball on fastball timing, you will be blown away by how quickly you can make progress in the box, man. You're focusing on home runs. You're focusing on data. You're focusing on feeling sexy, letting it eat, driving one out, seeing how far you can dip the back shoulder and hook, line, and sinker. Dude, nobody wants to hit pull side top spin in batting practice. And once we start trying to feel sexy and get under the baseball, man, we lose it, we unravel. Lock in batting practice. Simplify it. How many times can you deliver the barrel of the bat to the baseball? Stop trying to hit home runs. Stop trying to lock in on data, exit velocity, this, that. That's bullshit, dude. Build one dangerous strength. So everybody has something that they are good at, something that they can separate themselves with, and develop that until it's unbreakable. Example, can you dominate the inside part of the plate? Can you be so locked in there that there's no fastball, triple digits, 98, 99, 102 miles an hour, nothing can beat you on the inside part of the plate? Is that your strength? Develop it. Can you hit backspun, low line drive, piss missiles all throughout the infield, oppo, middle, in, all this stuff? Can you do that with a short, quick swing, regardless of who's throwing, regardless of what count it is? Develop it. Make it unbreakable, man. You need to build a strength and you need to double down on it. And you are actually going to separate yourself by simplifying things and executing on that in practice. Stop buying the lie. Stop searching for perfect. Start competing with purpose and watch how fast your career changes. I'm telling you, if you're done chasing gimmicks and want the real blueprint to stand out, grab the Underdog Playbook. The link's below. Appreciate you being here. Keep grinding.